Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another Mortal Realms video. This is issue number 36, but before we jump into it, as per usual, if you like these videos, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. It is great to hear from you guys. Now, this week's issue we have more scenery. It is about Azurite Bell Tower. It's not too bad. However, with all of these scenery pieces, they are far easier if you can spray paint them. However, if you're in the UK now, it is far too cold for spray painting. Spray painting you ideally need around about 20-degree heat, and we are definitely not getting 20-degree heat until probably next year now, from the looks of it. So, but they'll be far better if you can spray paint. So if you've got somewhere that's well ventilated and warm enough to do it, have at it. Why not? Now, into this week's issue, we are greeted by the Dominion of Sigmar to begin with. During the Age of Myth, Sigmar's followers spread civilization across the mortal realms, constructing many great cities and monuments in his honour. The crumbling remains of many of these once grand edifices still stand as a reminder of his golden age. So the Golden Age, aka the Age of Myth, saw the pinnacle of mortal progress. So mortals kind of went out into all these realms. They didn't really have much kind of resistance to their interaction, so they were able to build these great cities and monuments and everything like that towards Sigmar and in the honour of Sigmar. And then as the Age of Chaos fell upon the mortal realms, all these places went to ruin and it all went to crap, in other words. So a lot of these areas are now broken, they are battered, they are in disrepair, and they are now the scenery pieces that we receive. So they are all over the place. The Azurite Architecture as well. Also, of course, the followers of Sigmar have long been known to construct their cities and monuments in a similar fashion to those that line the streets of Azir. Buildings in the Azurite style are usually crafted from solid stone. Pillars, towers and columns are often carved with arcane runes or images of Sigmar's holy symbols. So, Azurite ruins can be used in any realm, really, pretty much. So, depending on how you want them done, you can make them look very different depending on the realm that you are basing your battles in. Or you can have them all the same and just use them how you want to. But with these kind of places, they look the same no matter what realm they're in. So if they are in Shyish, they will look the same as they pretty much are near enough identical to how they would in Gairan or how they would in Akshi or anything like that as well. So it is pretty cool and pretty different as well, and how they kind of compare to everything as well, which is good. Then you move on to more information about Shyish. So the Prime Innerlands, Part 1. Before the coming of the Necroquake, the continents and nations of the Prime Innerlands were the most prosperous and beautiful in Shyish. Far from the lethal death magic of the realm's rim, they were home to many of the greatest civilizations that the realm of death has ever seen. So, with all of this, of course, during the Age of Myth, it was the most prosperous time, as you can imagine. So, even in the realm of death, this prosperous time included the building of great cities, princedoms, everything like that. So, places like Shadespire would have been constructed around then before it was ripped out of time and space by Nagash when he decided to curse it because of their horribleness and the fact that he wanted to take revenge on them. So a lot of stuff like that, which is pretty cool, and a lot of new bits and pieces. In the realm of death, of course, there are strongholds of the Mortarks. So Neferata, the Mortark of Blood, has shaped Neferatia to resemble her former home in the world that was. It is even populated by spirits from that ancient time. Manfred von Carstein, the Mortark of Night, spends little time in Carstinia. He prefers to lead his armies to war rather than wallow in the ruins of his past failures. And last but not least, Arkham the Black, the Mortarch of Sacrament, dislikes prying eyes. His stronghold exists beyond the bounds of reality. Only he and Nagash know exactly where. So, with these Mortarchs, they have all kind of shaped their own kind of mini kingdoms, essentially, inside of Shyish. Arkham being the only different one, whose area that he kind of calls home in his stronghold is out of its own reality and separate from the actual rest of Shyish and cannot be wandered into by anybody. Which, for Arkham the Black, because he's so secretive, would be a blessing in disguise. Now, one thing with Mortarchs is they have a very, very competitive nature with each other. So they're all looking to please Nagash. If you read the Soul Wars book or listen to it on Audible or anything like that, there is a lot of interaction between the three of them. They are obviously very, very grumpy with each other and trying to get one up on each other all the time. Arkham the Black kind of tends to pit them at the post on Soul Wars because he is a Nighthaunt leader essentially in a lot of ways, whereas these guys mainly focus on the good old vampirism and everything like that as well. So, not bad. Then we've got more information about Chaos, and in particular the Beasts of Chaos, aka the Beastmen, or the Bray Herds, or anything like that, what you may want to call them. So the Beasts of Chaos are creatures created by the mutating powers of the Dark Gods. Part man, part animal, part monster, they are filled with a savage desire to slaughter and destroy. When they step foot upon the warpath, they are capable of crushing entire kingdoms to dust beneath their hooves. So, the Beasts of Chaos, they live in the wildest, most untamed areas of the mortal realms, normally near the edges, and they sometimes rove inwards, and they are very, very mutant heavy. They are normally represented by Minotaurs, Gors, Bulgors, and that sort of thing. So they are very bestial in a lot of ways. And they also have these cool looking herdstones that actually look really, really nice when you buy these scenery pieces sometimes. So the beast herds conquer new lands, they raise herdstones. These magical totems mark a herd's territory and spread corruption. So these things, they have this magical ability to spread corruption across the land, so that it kind of inflicts more chaos in the areas, and the good old beastmen, they like to, and the Bray Herds like to increase that power as they go throughout the lands. Then you got your how to build the Azerite Bell Tower, so you can do this in subsections if you wish to. Some sections it's recommended not to use glue, but it's entirely up to you. It depends on how fixed you want it all to be. So literally slap your skeletons into them crenellations and everything like that if you wish to, and them alcoves. Get the wooden beams on and everything like that, and you're happy days. Get going with it. The main part where it's telling you not to glue is actually that ladder that goes up the side, just there. Entirely up to you. It's completely up to you if you want to stick it there, or if you want to use it elsewhere, you could do. It's not too bad. Just be very, very careful with some of the fiddly bits, especially them gibbets, because when they are getting on there, and when you're painting them, that little section holding in place is very, very fragile. You don't want to break it because it's a pain in the arse to fix if you do break it. The painting guide, in all honesty, do it how you want. I personally wouldn't recommend going over base coat with Corax White, because you are going to go over it multiple times. It'll use a ton of paint and it'll take a while. If you've got the ability to spray paint it, if you've got the temperature to do it, spray paint it. In other words, anything scenery, spray paint it. It's far easier. You can get going. They are seeing you some cool little tricks, including using mechanical standard grey on brickwork and stuff like that to make it stand out a little bit better. And of course using your dryad bark and Nuln oil to make the wood which makes it look really, really cool, especially when you dry brush over with Baneblade Brown over the top as well. And to make a coppery looking bell, use Balthasar Gold and Agrax Earthshade. It works very, very well together. And it'll look pretty cool. You can use other paints like Scorpion Brass or something like that if you wish to, and it will have a very, very similar effect in a lot of ways. And then you can get it looking like that. If you use some Nilic Oxide as well, you can get it on these edges around the bottom of the bell or around the top or anything like that, and it'll look like the metals had a lot of oxidization, and make it stand out a lot better as well, and add some nice little flair to everything. So, but that is entirely up to you if you wish to do that. Then the combat tutorial is including the rules for piling in. So units that begin the combat phase within 3 inches of an enemy unit or that have charged can pile in and fight. And this tutorial will contain a series of examples showing pile-in moves, and they cover when units can pile in, the order in which they do so, and why they might wish to make such a move. Sorry, I was yawning. So yeah, it increases how your knowledge of the game works and everything like that if you wish to use it in that way, but entirely up to you. Then you've got an expanded war scroll for the spirit torments just there as well, which are always really, really cool, and I do like these expanded war scrolls now that they're dishing those out. And then your last bit is of course the battle plan, which is exorcism. So in the field of battle you will have a spirit torment, 2 Banshee, 10 Chain Rasps and 8 Glaive Wraith Stalkers going up against 1 Lord Exorcist, 5 Secretors and 3 Evocators going up. So it looks like another one where the Stormcast aren't as kind of outnumbered and outgunned, but in all honesty, Nighthorns are a little bit squishy and they will die pretty easily in a way, and Stormcast are normally pretty strong. So you can have a very good balanced game just from those lists if you wish to. Cool. Right. Next week we're going to get Gryph-hounds and Colia Grainshade as well. It's only 3 Gryph-hounds out of the 6 that you would normally get in a box, so it's pretty different. Issue 38 though, got some cool models. We've got Crawlock the Jailer and some good old Chain Ghasts as well, and it will give you some more information as well, which is always really, really nice. Cool. That's it for this week. As per usual, I'll be back as soon as possible. If you want to see more content from myself though, I am on Twitch TV if you wish to. My streaming's not very regular and is mostly during the day, but if you wish to join and watch and everything like that, you can follow me on Twitter and I'll post it on there. If not though, you can find me on Twitch, Jib of the Dead, and yeah, I hope to catch you on there very, very soon in the near future. That's it for today, and yeah, I will catch you next time. Bye bye now.